Hey everybody, I'm Steve and welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with a new ranking video here. The band Extreme just released a new album on June 9th, and instead of doing a review of the album, I decided just to do a ranking of their 6 albums and kind of mix in a review kind of in there a little bit since the video is going to be short. Might as well just kind of combine them all together. But so as far as number 6 here, this one is released in 1995. It's Waiting for the Punchline. This one is definitely an album that they try to go back to kind of a Nuno, try to kind of shred throughout the album, and the songs aren't extremely strong on it, but Hit Today, Cynical, Unconditionally, it has some really great riffs on it, but it's just the songs aren't really very strong on it, and it would be several years after this before they released another album. So they really tried to kind of make a, I don't know, I wouldn't say the album that came before this was it was definitely a great album in my opinion, and so they didn't really need to have a comeback album necessarily, but I thought they tried a little bit too hard on this, and it probably has some decent stuff on it, but I just think they just tried to make it a straight up guitar record and didn't quite work. At number 5, this one, a lot of people probably have this ranked a little bit higher, but from 1989 they have their debut album. This one was not my first Extreme album. I bought the second album, the big Juggernaut album, and I went back and bought this one. But to me, this album's not very heavy. It's definitely 80s, kind of sounding. It has Little Girls, Kid Ego, Play With Me, Mother Don't Want to Go to School Today. It has some stuff on it. It's just not very heavy. It's not extremely guitar heavy. Maybe if this album got like a remaster or like a remix, maybe they can make it sound a little bit better, but to me it just sounds very 80s and not like metal, kind of stuff. Compared to when you listen to that second album and then you go back and listen to this, it's definitely a kind of a letdown. So, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments, how you would rank these, because I know a lot of people would have this, like number 3 on their list, but for me, I have it at number 5. At number 4, a lot of people would probably pronounce this differently. It's from 2008. I have Saudades de Rock. This one's got some good stuff on it. Star is a really great song. King of the Ladies, Comfortably Dumb, and I really like the song Interface on this. I think that one's kind of ballady, but I actually really like that song. It's some people are probably gonna have some better. They probably pick some better songs off of this. It's definitely got some heavy stuff on it. Some really great shredding from Nuno. But, this was 2008, so they didn't come out with another album for another 15 years. So Nuno was doing other stuff, playing with other artists, not necessarily bands. Extreme kind of has like different sounds. They're not all pure rock kind of band or pure hard rock necessarily or metal. But, there's definitely some really great stuff on this you can pick from this album. So like I said, I've got it at number 4. So at number 3, I actually have their newest album. It's called 6. This was released in 2023, like I said, on June 9th. There's some stuff, I've listened to this 3 times now. There's some stuff a lot of people talk about that's really kind of weighted, kind of heavy in the beginning, and then it kind of tapers off a little bit after that. It's definitely the song Rise. I really love that. Ex-Rebel. It's got Banshee. I love that one. Other Side of the Rainbow, I think it's pretty good. There's songs like the song Thicker Than Blood. I don't like all that much. It's got that's probably my least favorite song. I don't hate it, but it's probably my least favorite song on this. But I really like the song X Out on this. This album actually is dedicated to King Edward, which would be Eddie Van Halen. And over the years, you've heard Nuno Bettencourt talk about how much he loves Eddie's playing, how much of an influence he was on him. And so it's definitely that song X Out definitely kind of reminds me of I'll Wait from Van Halen. Okay, it's not exactly the same song necessarily, but it's got keyboards in it, and I like it a lot. I mean, I think the song's maybe a little bit too long, but I really like it though. And the song this album even has a song called Beautiful Girls, so that's definitely like a Van Halen song. It's definitely the same title. Here's to the Losers. I kind of like that song. There's a lot of like radio friendly. I guess if you talk about radio, I guess more like commercial kind of friendly kind of songs on this. And like it gets less guitar heavy as you get past those first 4 tracks or first 3 tracks. But The song "The Mask." This is kind of interesting. It starts off with I think it's a country singer. It doesn't sound like Nuno or Gary Sharon. It sounds like a country singer. And I know that it had like a co-songwriter on it that I didn't write his name down, but I assume that maybe that guy is a singer in like a country band. But you know, that song is it's I think the lyrics kind of repeat themselves a lot, but you know, I kind of like that song in some ways, but like I said, a lot of these songs they sound very commercial, very light, not all guitar heavy, but you know, Rise definitely has some great solos in it and some great stuff in it, but for me, I've got this at number 3. So at number 2 from 1992, I have Three Sides to Every Story. This is definitely their most ambitious album. It's broken out into 3 parts: Yours, Mine, and The Truth. It's definitely coming off of that number 2, the second album. You know, it's definitely for them. It was released kind of at the wrong time. You know, in 1992, grunge just started to take over, and then so Extreme was definitely a band that needed to be popular more in the late 80s. And so when they going into the 90s, it's definitely a hard time for them. But, you know, it's got Warheads, Rest in Peace. It's got Cupid's Dead, you know, Tragic Comic, Our Father, Who Cares. It's got some great stuff in it. You know, like I said, it's the most ambitious album. But, you know, I love it here. To me, number 2, I can't put it any higher. But for me, I've always loved this album, though. So at number 1, I have Porno Graffiti. This is from 1990, the big Juggernaut album. This is a deluxe edition. Definitely recommend it if you love this album to pick this one up. It's got some great stuff in it here. You know, it's like 2 discs. You know, it sounds really great on this. It's a remaster. You obviously get the funk out. Definitely a great song. More Than Words. You know, definitely overplayed, but I still like that song, even though I can't really listen to it as much anymore. But I think at the time it was definitely a great album that a great song that a lot of people would definitely listen to a lot, and it was really overplayed a lot on the radio. But Wholehearted, Decadence Dance, Song for Love, some really great stuff on this. So that's where I have it. Like I said, leave in the comments. Please let me know how you would rank these. You know, like I said, I didn't want to do just one on their 6 album by itself, so I decided just to do it all together, just ranking them all. So it's definitely, these are my opinions. It's definitely not the definitive kind of list, you know. So everybody's got a different taste, and you know, you're allowed to love, you know, love these albums differently and rank them differently. So, but if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And please put a thumbs up on this video. And, you know, have a good night. Thank you. Bye.